All right, welcome back to the Malapert Smark podcast. If you have seen any of our videos from last week, you saw that we started diving into WCW after Hulk Hogan turned into a bad guy, joined the NWO, started wreaking havoc on WCW. We just saw an episode where Hall Nash left a bunch of guys laying in the back, sent them to the hospital. Arn Anderson was one of them. Who else? Scotty Riggs. Marcus Bagwell, Rey Mysterio, and there's a mystery about who's going to be the fourth member. So we're going to continue on with that. We're looking forward to Hog Wild in 1996, and Hogan challenged the Giant for the WCW title. He's going to try to bring some gold into his new stable, and we have one Nitro to cover on August 5th before Hog Wild. So let's see what happened on that episode after they had that wild beatdown in the back and chaos. Ambulance was there and everything. Go back and watch that. I'm going to make a playlist about this, by the way, to make it easier for you guys to find. So as we continue this storyline little by little. By the way, I didn't introduce you guys on this segment, did I? Huh? I got to introduce you guys. Vlad, the wrestling expert, big WCW fan. Grew up in this era, by the way, so this is very...
Absolutely.
This hits close to home. Robert also is
watched all these shows live.
Robert didn't watch WCW. He was more of a WWF guy. So these are kind of new to him, so we're getting like a fresh perspective. This was the intro that we all loved, the explosion of the building that led to the WCW Nitro.
That was good, man.
Classic.
That was perfect. That's so perfect.
Oh my god. Yeah. So they were at Walt Disney World here, I guess.
Yeah.
MGM Studios. Disney MGM Studios, it's called. Alright, so let's see how they introduce the show.
Well, obviously it's not. But I got an idea it's going to be handled different, Tony. From what I hear, now the wrestlers are going to handle their own security.
We do understand that the wrestlers will handle their own security here tonight. An unprecedented move in World Championship Wrestling as we see behind us some of the wrestlers coming in right now. You see Scott Norton, Big Bubba is coming out. There is Ming. There's the Barbarian. Gentlemen, these men are not here. There you see this big guy.
All right, so this is interesting. Never seen this. So there's a stable that's wreaking havoc on the company, and the wrestlers are going to stand as bodyguard to make sure that the matches come off. Because these matches are so important. Let's see who's fighting. Oh, the Rock and Roll Express. It's very important. We definitely got to watch this, right? Rock and Roll Express.
If it was 10 years ago, yes. Maybe maybe not 1996.
So they're facing off against Harlem Heat. But
take this.
Love the Harlem Heat.
I thought that was interesting. So the wrestlers are going to stand as bodyguards. At this point, early on in the NWO faction, there's not that many members, only 3. We already know what happens in this storyline, so we can talk about it retrospectively. But the stable becomes huge and they become extremely dominant. But at the beginning, there's only 3 guys. So they kind of have to like bide their time and attack when they can right now, because obviously everyone's on guard, extremely on guard at this point. So let's see what happens as the show progresses. Okay, so here's going to be another running storyline for this episode. The Nasty Boys are friends with Hulk Hogan in real life. So this is going to be a thing. People who are friends with Hogan, people are going to start being suspicious of them.
Just because Hulk Hogan is a friend of the Nasty Boys, we're getting a lot of geef, if you know what I mean. What's a friend? Who is a friend? But Hulk Hogan does what he wants to do, and the Nasty Boys do what they want to do. It's a free country. Everybody has their own opinion.
Jerry Sags, where do you stand?
I stand right here. I don't say what Hulk Hogan...
Hey, wait a minute, Lex and Luke.
Neither one of you guys are being very clear about this each and every week, and we want to know right now, where do you stand? Are you going to be a nasty boy with WCW? Or are you going to walk with the outsiders? Hey, we stand where we always stood, right here in Nastyville. That's where we stand. By the way, it's none of your stinking business anyway. We're going to make it our stinking business tonight. Well, bring it on, pal. Bring it on.
Hey, wait a minute. Cooler tempers have got to prevail.
That's exactly what the Nasty Boys are talking about. Where was the WCW there? They just waltzed out here. Where's the WCW in our last couple matches? Hey, we don't condone what Hulk Hogan did, but we don't say there's nothing wrong with it either.
Thank you very much, the Nasty Boys. Team Seaton up here on Nitro. And stay tuned.
That was cool. I really like that, huh? Well, you got any comments about that Nasty Boys promo, Vlad?
Who knew that I'd have to give an opinion on the Nasty Boys promo in 1996? I guess not prepared to do that, but here I go. I'm going to Nastyville, boys. I'm going to that, wherever that is. I'm going. No, I mean, look, it was pretty good, you know. I mean,
that was great. I love that.
I think as far as what I remember of what happens, it kind of makes sense that Nasties they were a heel group, so they were kind of okay with Hogan doing what he did when he turned heel as well. So it kind of makes sense.
I thought that was full of personality. I don't see anybody like that in today's wrestling. The Nasty Boys would be like the coolest wrestlers in the world today. Robert, did you want to give a quick comment about that before I move on?
No, I don't know where Nastyville is, but it sounds like an interesting place to be.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, that was my first time ever seeing that. I never saw any of that episode, so it's good to see some of these wrestlers again that I haven't seen in a while.
That little segment was just bursting with personality. Bursting, which is
Agreed.
completely the difference between today's wrestling and that era of wrestling.
Sure.
Okay, so you know what? This has nothing to do with the NWO kind of, but I still want to play it since we're on this episode. It's very interesting. Here comes Chris Benoit with
He ran
Woman,
Chris Benoit
his future
to the ring post
wife
weeks ago.
that he murders. Yeah. Her name is Woman.
Yikes.
Nancy.
Yeah.
I know, this is actually very exclusive footage that is kind of hard to find at this point because it's not on the WWE network or on Peacock or whatever. They've cut out anything that has to do with Chris Benoit. This is interesting here. Listen to this, though. So Jimmy Hart comes out. He's with the Dungeon of Doom. They're sort of feuding with the Four Horsemen, which Chris Benoit and Woman and Miss Elizabeth are in. So he's going to come in and try to tell Woman that she shouldn't be with Benoit, that she should come with them.
Let's see if we can listen in. Out here with the Four Horsemen. Listen to me. You're wasting your time out here with her.
I'm not wasting my time with her, and I'm not wasting my time with her.
She is useless. She's like a human mannequin.
How about that?
Benoit's never going to win you a championship match.
He's trying to talk Woman out of being inside of the Horsemen.
Why don't you come with me right now? Don't you see something?
He's trying to save her life, man. But he's not telling her that Benoit's going to kill her. He just said he's never going to be champion. But he does eventually become champion.
You got somebody in the back that thinks I'm crazy. And you know who I'm talking about. And when his life's miserable,
Kind of sad that all those three people are dead. Miss Elizabeth and Nancy Benoit and Chris Benoit. It's kind of, I mean, just shows you the dark side of the wrestling, that's for sure.
All right, so here comes Dean Malenko. He's just going to try to take her. But, so Dean Malenko's not in the Dungeon of Doom, but he's feuding with Benoit. I guess we can analyze some of the work, see if this is realistic to you, Vlad. I don't like the thing where they grab their head and just start walking away, you know?
Grabbing their head and throwing it against. That's a common thing.
No, watch this one right here when they're just going to start walking towards the back here. What are they doing there?
That's one of Dean Malenko's 1,000 holds.
Anyways, that was just a little aside with Woman and Chris Benoit that I thought was interesting. But I'm going to move on with the show. So there's a limousine outside, and everyone's like, oh, that's probably got to be the NWO.
I don't know.
So that's there the whole episode, and eventually they're going to go confront it.
At this point in time during this episode, were they called NWO already? Did they?
Yeah, they're the New World Order. Definitely.
Okay, so they were already being referred to as the NWO. Okay.
Yes. From the first promo they hit when Hogan turned heel at the Bash at the Beach, they call themselves the New World Order. But then
in the earlier promo with the Nasty Boys, they were just referred to as the Outsiders. So that's why I was wondering if they were already called the NWO.
They are the NWO at this point. So, all right. So here's
the one thing, real quick. The one thing that Hogan did right away, I was just going to say in the promo when he turned heel, he said this is the New World Order of Wrestling. Wrestling. So he got that in, and it was a perfect heel promo. Anyways, I'll let Keon go on. I don't want to, spend too much time on that.
All right. So this is going to carry on into that thread that I was talking about earlier about the friends of Hulk Hogan. So here comes the Booty Man, who used to be with the Booty Babe.
Which is Kimberly Page.
Yes. That's Diamond Dallas Page's future wife, I guess. I don't know if they're married at that point. but she's the Booty Man's valet here, the Booty Babe. For those of you who don't know, the Booty Man was Brutus Beefcake in WWF, who was a friend in the storyline to Hulk Hogan. In this match, he's facing off against Ric Flair. He comes out with 3 nice ladies from the Four Horsemen. And they're going to have...
Deborah, too.
Deborah, yeah, because Deborah McMichael and Mongo are in there, too. So here comes Arn, who was one of the guys who got beat down by the NWO the week before, and he's going to stand guard. All the Horsemen are actually there. They're going to stand guard. And the ending of this match, Ric Flair is not going to let go of this hold, and they're going to get disqualified, and the Horsemen are going to beat down the Booty Man as a message to Hulk Hogan. And the Horsemen are historically a heel stable from the 80s, which is interesting that they're kind of going up against another heel stable. But in this case, they would be the face just because they represent tradition, I guess.
And they represent WCW, yeah.
They represent WCW, so at least they represent the company that they work for. But they are acting very treacherous here, beating up someone who is not even literally technically in the NWO, but...
And the Booty Man on the... Stop!
Beat up the referee, too.
We've had enough of it. After last week, I can't believe it. You know, you were a victim last week. This week, you're a perpetrator. Intense pain is a wonderful thing, Gene Okerlund. Your life flashes before your eyes. Things that are the most important to you become crystal clear. Look at this. You start to begin to learn the meaning of life. Last week when they stuffed me in that ambulance, and I looked across and I saw Flair, Sting, Woman, Bagwell, and myself, I realized that we were people brought together, not by philosophy, but by necessity. And I started to think, New World Order, New World Order, where have I heard that? And I remembered in the good book it says when the New World Order is put into place, it signals the beginning of the end of time. Well, WCW is our world. It's where we live and breathe. And if you want to destroy it, Hogan and the Outsiders, you've already made a mistake that jumps off the page. You're going to take a baseball bat to a horseman, finish the job, because there's one rule of gang fighting. See, we are the original gang, and we're the most vicious in all of professional wrestling history. They send one of yours to the hospital, you send one of theirs to the morgue. Chris Benoit.
All right, well, I'm going to skip Benoit and Mongo's promo, and I'm going to do Flair before I get some comments from you guys on this segment.
Flair, Rick Nature Boy. Come here! Hogan! Wherever you are, watch this! Ric Flair sending a message to Hulk Hogan and the New World Order because of the association between the Booty Man. Tell Hogan! Tell him! Send the word! We take it! Hey, Gene! Come here. Hogan! You want our attention? You just got it! Huh? You think because you woke up one day, you became a bad man? You're so wrong. You have made a mistake. This is my best friend. And you crossed the line, pal. And now, wherever you are, you're going to pay the price. There's your best friend. Come get him, big boy. Come get him. Are you through now? Yeah. Thank you very much, Ric Flair.
So Ric Flair hadn't had anything to do with the NWO up till this point. NWO was feuding with Sting and Luger and Macho Man, pretty much, and then they beat up those guys in this previous episode. But since he got to Arn Anderson, now the Horsemen are involved. Ric Flair is actually the United States champion at this point, just so you know. But anyways, Vlad, you want to make any comments about this segment?
I mean, Arn Anderson is I know me and Kehan kind of have debated on Arn Anderson's promo style. Kehan doesn't really like Arn Anderson's promo style. I love it. I mean, I love the way he cuts a promo, the way he gets everything across is perfection. He's not wild like Flair. Like Flair's hard to take serious because he's like, Hogan. You know? But Arn Anderson is more of he means what he says type of thing. It's like straight to the point, like boom. That's what we have to get across. And that's what I did. Flair's is a little bit like, more wild and like a character. Arn Anderson's like more of like a real person. I think that's the difference. So this was a great segment.
Yes, definitely important too, because it introduces Flair and into his feud with the NWO, which is obviously going to be a long-standing thing, as we're going to see in the coming weeks or months, however long it takes us to watch some of these scenes. But I'm enjoying this. Did you enjoy that, Robert?
Yeah, I did. So, wow, the booty man got his ass kicked.
He got his booty kicked.
Yes.
But the funny thing is, sorry, I'll let Robert go. I'm sorry.
Poor guy, just guilty by association.
Exactly.
Just getting jumped. Regarding the promos, I'm not very familiar with Arn Anderson's promos. I don't think I've seen enough of them. But if I were to take what I saw there as like a very small sample size, I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't have any problem with it. I don't know how it compares to his others, but just that one alone was pretty cool.
Very dramatic. All right, I'm going to move on. So this is the first instance of a paid announcement by the NWO. So this actually comes up very often in this coming couple years. Yes.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Action. First off, Luger, you go down, punk him.
Hey, Lex, show me that crab shot, Lex.
Well, it's something like this. Then we give the phone call. We tell Luger, hey, you got an emergency phone call. He goes in there, boom. We punk Sting. He used to do this, remember? Woo! Then, on Monday Night Nitro, we make a little guest appearance in the back lot. Take a little batting practice on some of WCW's finest.
They beat everybody up. They beat everybody up in the WCW.
Guys, I wonder, maybe billionaire Ted and his Atlanta Braves, they could use a few home run hitters, because we sure know how to swing a bat.
The crowning jewel, take a look at us.
Hulkster becomes the NWO World Heavyweight Champion.
August the 10th, I am going to beat the Giant on August the 10th. And you know something, guys? August the 11th, man. It's my birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Giants. V-5-4-5.
So this is also the very first instance of the NWO music, Vlad, that I've noticed.
Fantastic. I didn't.
How could you be so dumb, brother, to come to Sturgis in one night, transform the WCW belt into the NWO, and ride off into the sunshine?
You know, I like to say a little word to all the WCW wrestlers. You know, guys, it's only business. You know, when you're starting a corporation, it's a rocky road. It's nothing personal. Should you choose to make it personal, hey, no problem.
You know what the Giant wants, brother? To keep his belt not.
Ready? Go.
You know, we're not talking about taking over anymore. No, not at all. We're talking about extermination.
You know, Sting, Luger, sometimes you meet guys that you dislike. And then sometimes you meet guys like
you know something, Sting Luger? You better get used to it, because soon you guys are going to be out of a job.
It's a new.
Watch this.
I got Sting and Lex back here, and they've asked me to stop this tape time. Okay, all right, Craig. Trying to get a camera back here. You may want to fill just a second. All right, are we going to Sting and Lex now?
That's so good.
Tell us what we're doing? Just hang on, fill for me just a second. All right, well, thank goodness we stopped that tape. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are in the midst of some crazy happenings here, and we apologize for what happened. You heard from our director, Craig Leathers. We're attempting to get a camera right now back to Sting and Lex Luger. I guess they want to respond to what's going on. Okay.
We're just going to hang out and make sure.
They're in the control room.
I understand.
None of that goes back.
I had no choice. They told me to stop the tape. I had no choice.
It's a paid-for announcement.
I didn't mean to stop it, but I had no choice. They actually made it.
This is about money to you, isn't it? No.
What are you?
Where's the NWO letters on your shirt?
I understand.
I'll just hang out here for a while.
I understand.
Make sure that no trash goes on the air.
I'm sorry. I'm going to deal with that tomorrow.
Tell Master here. We've got to
All right.
Okay.
So
here we go.
Okay.
Atlanta in.
All right.
Let's get some comments about the NWO paid announcement and the following when it got cut off by Sting and Luger when in the production truck. I'll start with Robert this time.
Yeah, I've seen very small bits and pieces of that in, I think, old promo packages. I never seen that whole video in its entirety. Like,
well, it happens a lot. They do this all the time. They're going to do paid announcements like every episode, kind of.
It was bittersweet watching that just because Scott Hall's no longer around.
Of course,
he was so charismatic. It was fun to watch him. So I felt it was a bittersweet experience just to watch that promo because of him. I kind of wish I saw that live as it was happening back in the day. I was still mostly watching WF for the most part. I was very aware of NWO, of course, but I didn't really watch it consistently.
Vlad, give us some comments. I'll go after you.
This was really good. This is brought to you by NWO, and the way the music was and the way they shot this was kind of...
Yeah, I was going to say it was shot very well, very creatively.
I'm going to say it was kind of revolutionary because I don't think I've seen that in previous... Or maybe, I mean, I don't know. I can't say, but I don't think I've seen that in previous wrestling up to that point. So I thought that was really good. And they did a really good job of being heelish, obviously, in the promos and showing their personalities. These are like three pretty big personalities, three guys that could really cut pretty good promos. I liked that they kind of made sense that somebody tried to cut the tape because it's like, why is this airing? You know, it's WCW. Why are we letting this NWO stuff air? So I thought that was also quite good as well. Made sense logically.
These videos they do with the background and the black and white and the cuts and everything, it makes them look really cool. This is my early childhood memory of the NWO. So yes, I think that's a historical tape right there, but this is going to be a recurring theme in the days to come. So let's move on to later in the show. We got the Giant. The Giant is here facing... Do you know who that is, Vlad? Sergeant... what's his name?
I forgot his name, but the Sarge something.
Yeah, if you knew that, man, come on, that would be a deep cut. But he's that guy...
Yeah.
He's managed
I probably could figure it out as we're talking, but go ahead.
See if you can remember. But Teddy Long is his manager, and after the Giant pins him, he's also going to chokeslam Teddy Long, who's going to try to stop
Teddy
this
Long
post-match beatdown.
Takes a bump too.
He's going to take a chokeslam. For you guys who know, Teddy Long became the SmackDown general manager. But I guess I'll play a little bit of Giant's promo.
Hogan!
Because he's going to fight Hogan on Sunday for the title. He's the WCW champion. So let's hear what the Giant used to sound like back in WCW.
You're a couple of weeks. You've talked your trash. You and Hall and Nash about how you're going to take over WCW. Brother, let me tell you, it's very simple. Your 15 minutes are up. I am the WCW World Heavyweight Champion. I dare you. I defy you. If you have any guts at all, show up in Sturgis and I'll show them to you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The Giant to beat Hulk Hogan. This coming
looks very menacing.
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock.
Like a
I believe that's
fucking giant human man, like a wrestler that somebody would be scared of. Very different from today's day and age with Adam Cole and the Young Bucks, but I don't want to dwell on that. Okay, so this is the end of the show. The main event was the Nasty Boys against Sting and Luger, so they're going to tap them out and beat them, which was a callback to that earlier segment that they had with them. But they're going to confront the Limousine at the end of the show. So they're going to go to the Limousine and see who's in there. And they're going to open the door, and someone's going to throw them a briefcase.
All right, we got to go, fans.
And that's it.
We'll see you. We'll see you at Hog Wild Saturday night. What the hell? Got a briefcase. Someone slammed the door shut.
What does the briefcase mean? I don't know. I don't know what that was supposed to mean. Honestly, I didn't really like the ending. I didn't dig the ending too much. I think Ted DiBiase is the fourth member that me and Vlad, we found out. We researched this. We didn't really remember at first, but is that briefcase full of money? I don't know. They didn't show that it was full of money or anything, so I really don't know what point of that was. Kind of landed a little flat to me, but okay, it was just mysterious. Anyways, so that was Nitro. If you guys don't have any comments, I'm going to move on and show you what happened in that Hogan Giant match at Hog Wild. You guys ready for that?
Yeah.
Sure. Let's do it.
All right. So here's Hog Wild. This is something I very much remember when I was a kid. Once a year, they would go to Sturgis, South Dakota, and they'd go to that motorcycle rally and hang out with all these
biker
guys. Yes. So it was kind of cool. It was cool looking. I thought it was a great venue. I kind of wish they still had it somehow. Well, AEW wouldn't make it cool because AEW's not cool. WWE also, it doesn't really fit their MO. But the place they were at looked great, where they set up the ring and everything, and all the fans they had, and the entrance ramp. Just like real classic, man. It's real cool. I really like it. Here's Hall Nash, here's Sting and Luger. This is not for the title. At this point, the Harlem Heat were the tag team champions, so this is just like a grudge match. But I'm going to show you the ending. It's going to be very interesting, Vlad. I think you're going to like this, if you remember this. Do you remember this?
I don't remember how it ended.
Alright, so here's the ending. So, Sting's got Kevin Nash and the Scorpion at the bottom on the floor, and Lex Luger's going to take Hall up for the torture rack and bump into Nick Patrick. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Should I rewind it? So he just fell onto Luger's.
What was that?
What was that? Well, he took. Okay, listen. I gotta pause this because a lot happened there, and some people only listen to the audio of this. I'm gonna rewind this and do it a little slower. So Lex Luger takes Hall up for the torture rack, and Scott Hall's legs are gonna swing around and hit Nick Patrick in the face. Okay, so he took a bad shot to the head. He's completely out of it, right? Now Nick Patrick is completely out of it and happens to fall on Lex Luger's the back of his leg and kind of with his forearm. And then counts at 3 counts really fast for Scott Hall. Okay, look. So for those of you who don't know, Robert, since we already know this storyline and we're watching it retrospectively, Nick Patrick becomes a member of the NWO.
Okay, all right.
Eventually.
Because I was going to make the comment that his fall looked more like an intentional strike. That didn't look accidental.
That's the joke. That was the joke. It was pretty hilarious too, to be honest. So Hall and Nash take the victory, just for bragging rights, not really for anything. But let's move on to the main event, which is what everyone's waiting for. Here's Michael Buffer.
Are you ready?
For all the big matches, made it seem so big. It seemed so cool that Michael Buffer was there. It made it like a world heavyweight boxing match, you know? So here's Hogan, NWO attire, t-shirt, headband, and everything. The shirt he has, it says the Terminator shirt. It's like a Terminator t-shirt.
Mr. Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
No Voodoo Child, no Jimi Hendrix music at first, so it's just NWO. Here's the Giant coming out with Dungeon of Doom music, I guess. So what I remember about this as a kid was that this match had a lot of hype, but it was goddamn so boring. Like, I really don't like this match. I don't recommend this match as a match to watch. A lot of Hogan jumping out of the ring, very slow at first, very methodical. Didn't really want to take any damage from the Giant. Tried to run away, but he was going to get counted out, so he had to come. They were really milking this for the people. But eventually they do get in the ring. Here's some strikes. I'll show some of Hogan's punches, which I think is his strongest suit. His power punches, but they didn't really do any damage to the Giant. There's a lot of holding, a lot of these rest holds, as some people in the wrestling community call them. Grappling. A little boring to me. I don't really like this kind of wrestling. I don't really necessarily like high-flying, super Mexican jumping bean wrestling, but this type of wrestling I don't really like either.
Well, I have a point to make about that, though.
Okay,
real quick. I see what you're saying, but at the same time, what kind of match could you expect from two big guys like this, to be fair? They're not going to have, like, some sort of classic Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels match. These are two pretty big dudes. They're going to have more of a kind of match in the sense of it's not going to be up and down type of match.
On the mat. Yes, I got
It's got to be more on the mat. The psychology is what's going to have to be good in this thing. And I don't really remember it being that good either, but it was okay. I remember it being okay.
All right, well, let's skip to the ending. I'll skip to where it starts to get. The Giant actually starts hulking up the Hulk Hogan good guy thing, which, you know, I kind of don't like, but I guess I could buy it here just because he looks way bigger and stronger than Hogan. So maybe none of these punches are actually registering and he's just kind of making fun of Hogan. But anyways, so he's going to get him into a position where he's going to look like he's going to win, and somebody has to come help Hogan, obviously. So that's why I didn't really want to watch the whole match. It's not a match that's worth really watching all the way through. Let's just get to the interference spot, because we know his boys are going to try to come help him. So here it comes. There's Scott Hall.
You know this would happen. Turn around. Hall is up.
On the top rope.
And the Giant has it.
Yep.
The Giant pulls him in.
Body slam off the top rope. Kevin Nash is going to come in. He's on the floor.
See Nash out here now. Nash.
Oh my goodness.
Nash has the megaphone of Jimmy Hart's. And we're going to get a choke slam on Hall. There it goes. Oh, he got him down. Watch out. Turn around, Giant. The referee trying to get Hall out. Nash gets kicked. The megaphone goes down. Choke slam him. He's going to choke slam him too. There's the megaphone. Watch out. He goes. Choke slam that gigantic Nash. Hogan's got the. He got the worst on the belt. He laid him out. He laid him out with a can't believe this. Oh no. We got a new champion. We got a new champion. We got a new champion.
Man, Randy Anderson sure made a fast count there too. But okay, a little chaotic that ending. And before I get some comments, I'll just show you what happened after the match. Obviously, they're gonna celebrate a little bit. They're the new champions. They accomplished their mission. Here comes the Booty Man. So they were right to beat him up, huh?
Yeah.
There's the fourth member, I guess. But hold on a minute. So Hulk Hogan's gonna come out, kiss the Booty Man, tell him, yep, we've been friends for this long. But then he tells Kevin Nash, whispers into his ear to get him. And then they whoop his ass too. If he would do that to his best friend, what would he do to you, huh?
The NWO is all about backstabbing, lying,
Hold him up, brother. Hold him up.
making examples of people, humiliating people.
20 years, he said he's been his best friend.
Let me tell you something, Ric Flair. That is business, brother. And that was my best friend. If I'll do that to my best friend, what am I gonna do to you in Denver, Colorado? The NWO rules, brother.
Hulk Hogan is a very dangerous, sick individual.
This is the first instance where they spray paint the NWO letters and desecrate the traditional WCW World Heavyweight Championship belt. Make it the NWO Heavyweight Championship belt. There you go. So the Hulk Hogan era, the evil Hulk Hogan era has begun
This is scary, ladies and
in WCW. So there you go. All right.
Boy, I was just going to say, boy, the Giant is really selling that thing. He's been out cold for at least 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Somebody gets the smelling salts for this guy. He might be in a coma.
Yeah, that was like Edge and Shayna Wayne, basically.
With the grazing shot.
Well, this was a better shot than Shayna Wayne, but still, yes, it was. He shouldn't be out this long.
Vlad, any comments about the ending of this match? The Giant Hulk Hogan match?
This sets up basically the Hogan era, the Hogan heel NWO era. From my recollection, he holds on to basically the belt for another year from here. So this was what, August 1996. So he holds on to it for another year straight. And it was a great year. what a year for the company. So I think that this was the beginning of a really great time for WCW.
I'll just say that, man, why was the referee looking at Scott Hall on the floor when he had nothing to do with the match and completely distracted? I don't know. We nitpick AEW a lot, so I could nitpick here if I wanted to. That's all I'm saying. But yes, other than that, the whole storyline and them beating up the Booty Man afterwards, being heels and spray painting the belt and the commentators just being all dejected to end the show. It's all good. It's all really good. Robert, I don't know if that's the first time you saw that. That is not an obscure match, but what do you think?
Poor Booty Man got his booty kicked again.
Again? Yeah.
First time for being guilty by association, then the second time just so that Hulk Hogan can send a message to Flair. Poor guy.
Yeah, but I think later on down the line, right, he does join the NWO for real, right, Kevin? What is his character name?
He becomes the disciple.
The disciple.
This was his gang initiation.
Yes, basically.
Yes.
Everybody in the NWO is beat down before they join the NWO, pretty much.
Absolutely.
All right, well, that'll be it for this segment. Stay tuned for more. We're going to make a playlist about this WCW era to make it easy for you guys on our YouTube channel, so watch out for that, and we'll see you guys hopefully soon. And subscribe. I forgot to mention. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet.
Subscribe, otherwise the NWO will jump you.
Or Vlad will jump you. Vlad will
exactly.
show up here.
I've been threatening people left and right. That's how we're getting more subscribers. So it's been working slowly and surely.
We'll see you guys next time.